Beyond Tuesday, another Tuesday already. And we're back with another awesome early Beyond the Paranormal podcast show today. But first, before we get into the guests and everything like that, folks, please get out and subscribe to the Beyond the Paranormal podcast YouTube page and Facebook page. It takes 2 seconds to do, folks. Come on. Help me out. Help, I subscribe to a lot of people's YouTube pages and Facebook pages. So, hey, help me out. That's all I'm asking. So I'm going to do something right quick before I introduce our guest, because last week we missed some questions in the chat room, and I apologize, but I'm going to try to do this and shut this up so I can read all the comments. So I need to do this first. Some questions in the chat room, and I apologize. There we go. I'll shut that up. All right. So today we have my bro, which I've known for many years, Mr. Mike Couch. He is the where'd I lose it? Mike Couch is who is the founder of Lost Limbs Foundation, Paranormal Researcher, and Mike hosts events and investigations at Rhodes Hotel, located in Indiana, to raise money for the charity. The Lost Limbs Foundation owns Rhodes Hotel thanks to a generous benefactor. So, welcome to the podcast, Mike, man, and glad to have you on here finally.
Yeah, finally, right? Thanks for having me on. But yeah, we finally made it happen, right? It took a little while.
Finally, but you know what? Things happen, man. Things happen. It's always going to be here. So,
Better late than never, right?
Yeah, exactly. Critina can't make it this evening. She's MIA. She's off somewhere doing some hocus pocus, and I don't know. She's she's doing her own thing this evening, and RhiAnna will be on here just as soon as possible. But anyway, man, you've got some things that's happened here the last couple of months, and we're going to get into. Folks, if you have any questions for Mike, please put them in the chat room. And also, I'm on the Facebook page right now. Just put them in here. I will get to these as quickly as possible. So just bear with us, folks. Bear with me. I'm going back and forth. So you took a trip across the pond, as they say, to Michigan. Is that where it's at? No.
Yeah, Michigan, yeah. Those great
you went over to England, didn't you? London?
I did, yeah. I flew into London, and I ended up in Colchester, that actually outside of that area, but it was crazy, man. It was cool. I got to see the North Sea. It's kind of crazy, man. You go on a beach and you're just like looking, you're like, this is the North Sea. I'm used to like the Atlantic or the Gulf or something, I mean, anytime I've been like huge bodies of water, but it was awesome. I mean, I got to see like these really old churches. I got to see Colchester Castle, which is, you probably saw like some of the stuff I posted up on social media. I mean, it's so wild, man. I mean, it's like, it's one of those bucket list things. I was just like, I'd always wanted to go and see a castle, and just getting to go there and see it, man, it was just unreal.
But you didn't get to see Dracula's castle.
Oh, that's a whole nother bucket list thing. Maybe one of these days, right? Who knows? But
yeah. And I'm very disappointed. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but it's still a castle, so it's still kind of cool. But yeah, what were we gonna say?
I was gonna say I'm very disappointed that you didn't get to do any ghost hunting or research, because I know you would love to have done it, but I was like, you told me no, I didn't. I was like, oh, what do you mean?
I know, man. Next time I'm gonna have to like reach out to some of these people that I know and just be like, hey, can you hook something up? I don't care if they just give me an hour in one of these places or something. It would be amazing. But I mean, still at the same time, man, just getting it's unreal, getting to go there and just look at the castle in person and go inside and see the inside of it, and just really wild.
Hang on one second. Let me fix this right quick. Sorry, folks. You went over to England, didn't you? London?
I did, yeah.
I'm trying to stop this so I can see the video and all the questions and stuff, but it's not working the way I want it.
Gotta love technology.
Well, I feel bad because I I missed out on some questions last week, and I'm trying to make up for it, and I apologize. But anybody who has any questions, please feel free to put them in here. I will try to answer them as best as I can.
Gotta love technology.
And I'm trying to mute all this stuff, and I feel bad because I don't know. I missed out on some questions last week. I'm trying to make up for it.
See, it won't. It's not cooperating, right?
It's not. It's research, not, man. See, it won't. I need somebody just specifically just to watch our channels, and that's it to watch, because this is
relay all the information over.
Yeah, for sure, because it's
make it a whole lot easier.
It does make it a whole lot easier. But anyway, folks, put them in the chat. I'll try to get to them as best as I can. I apologize, especially if you have any questions for Mike. And we're going to talk about Rhodes Hotel and all this stuff. But I mean, you've had quite an adventure leading up to Rhodes Hotel with your paranormal stuff that you used to do.
Yeah,
man, how long was you a tour guide at Waverly? Was it like just a couple years, or did you have multiple years?
Yeah, multiple years. I think I was there for, I believe, like about 3 or 4 years that I was actually there. And then when everything kind of just stopped, I mean, I guess you could say, because when I got to the point where I had to do the amputation, I had to take all that time off to just kind of focus on myself and everything. And then, so it's been crazy. I mean, so many things have happened since, before the amputation, with being there, and then just like afterwards, because then the charity started and like all the paranormal stuff just kind of went out in like a million different directions after the charity started. So it's been nuts. It's been awesome though.
What would you say your best paranormal experience was at Waverly, though? Because I know you've had to have some major ones for sure. But what's the one that sticks out the most for you personally, probably?
Actually, I know there was one time that my sister and I were in the laundry room, like where everybody checks in, where the gift shop and stuff is.
Yeah.
And when you go in through the tunnel, you come up to the first floor, the morgue wing. But then if you circle back around, then you go up to the second floor. And we were going up to the second floor one night because we had a group in there, and we were going in to see how they're doing. And I'm walking up the steps, and I just kind of look up, you're walking up steps, you kind of look up the top of the stairs, and stuff as you're walking up. And I'm walking up, and I see a lady in a white dress, like at the top. She's like by the rail at the top. And then, I mean, just as quick as that, she was gone. I just kind of stopped and looked at my sister. I was like, "Do you see that?" She's like, "What?" And then it was pretty wild. I mean, but I've had so many things happen there. I mean, I think some of the ones that was more common that I had nights that I would, at the end of the night, anybody that's been there, most of the time, like back when I was there, I let the group out, they go down to the hill, let them out by the golf course, lock the gate up, come back in, and you go in and lock up the building by yourself. And I don't know the nights that I went in, I'd go up to the 5th floor and start locking the building down, be walking down the hallway, and I just hear my name plain as day. And I had times that I wouldn't think about it, I'd respond, and I'm just like, wait, I let the group out. There's nobody in here, But it was so crazy. I would just actually respond and, just be like, what? And, oh yeah, there's nobody here.
So that was just a common thing for you there.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like all the time, but I mean, it definitely happened off and on for me there. Just walking around the halls, and then, the times it was so common to see shadows and stuff there a lot. I mean, I don't know how it is lately, because I haven't been there in, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, I think, probably, at least. Actually, might have been longer than that. But yeah, I mean, there's times you'd see a shadow, like, just, I had one time, like, it looked like somebody came out and they just kind of, how you look down the hallway and you see that shadow look out and kind of look like they're looking towards you, and they just start across. And you automatically assume, hey, somebody maybe they broke in the building or something. They got in. There's shouldn't be in there. And you take off down the hallway and look in the area where they went across, and there's nobody there. You hear nobody running or anything like that. It's like, all right,
I remember the night that we were down there, and I just had problems trying to pick things up. I guess where my mind was just rushing 1,000 miles an hour, trying to catch things. But the place is so big, and you go down those hallways. What you see on TV is totally, totally, totally different when you're there live. Because I mean, TV is
yeah,
it's like those halls are like that, and when you get there in person, it's like, is anybody over there? It's like
yep,
it's huge. But
it is.
I tried. I guess I just tried too hard to find something, but I really didn't have anything go on other than when you said, "Hey, you want me to come up on?" I don't know if we was on the third floor, fourth floor, maybe. And you said, "Hey, you want me to come up because most time when I come up, there's something that goes
Yeah,
on." And sure enough, you guys saw it. I didn't. I didn't see nothing. I was like, where are we going?" And I just seen you take off. I seen Brian take off. I was like, what? Where's this at? I'm glad you all could see it because I sure can't.
yeah.
So
I seem like weren't we maybe going to the main operating room on the fourth, maybe?
yeah, and you guys saw something in
I'm
one of the
thinking it's
rooms,
what
and
it
Brian
was.
picked
Yeah,
it up.
yeah. Yeah, I remember that. All these
The
years, I
weird
remember
part
that.
was yeah, the weird part was, folks, it wasn't coming out in the hall and running down the hall, it was going through the walls, through each room to room to room to room, and I was going, I don't see this. I mean, you 2 were just hightailing it. This is before you had your amputation, but I mean, you 2 were hightailing it down. I was going,
Yeah,
"Where? Show
yeah,
me, where?" Oh, I was so frustrated
yeah,
because I couldn't see it.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's intimidating. I mean, you go in this huge building. I mean, and you know that there's such a reputation of it being haunted, and and of course, it is how it is. The goal to go in is to have that experience, to have something that you can catch and
Sure.
get that evidence and stuff. And sometimes I mean, it is. You go into some of these big places like that, and that especially that place there. I mean, it can be intimidating, and you kind
Yeah.
of it's hard to focus because you got a million different things that you're like trying to tune into in there.
It was like and you're right, my mind was racing, and I'm glad we all got to go because I could say I can, hey, that I've been to Waverly Hills, but
Yeah,
I feel like I wanna go back for a redemption investigation, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because it's like, you know, I love Waverly Hills, do not get me wrong, folks, but the first time going, it is so uh, intimidating. You have to honestly take a good hour just to sit back and say, "Calm down," because all that stuff is rushing through my mind like, I saw this on TV, saw that on TV, and then
yeah,
I'm trying just to rack my brain to say, "Okay, let's just stop, calm down, let's do a basic investigation, just we know this is a haunted location, but is it gonna be haunted while we're here? Are we gonna capture
yeah,
anything?" That's the big point,
yeah,
and dude, I mean, there was a couple of things that happened, but other than that, no, I was kinda disappointed, but paranormal doesn't happen like a light switch. So
yep, yeah. I mean, I have nights here at Rhodes Hotel that quiet as can be. Then I have nights that I'm back here and I can hear stuff going on upstairs, like in the hotel. I'm just like, what's going, because I mean, it's loud noises and stuff, and yeah, some crazy experiences with some of that stuff.
wow. What's the craziest thing that's happened there so far that you know of?
For me, like, I mean, probably the most common stuff that I have here is I hear voices, and there's almost times when it sounds like there's conversations going on, like it's going back
Hmm,
and forth, but it's muffled. It's you can't make out what's being said, and then you hear footsteps. I don't know the times that I hear the boards creaking upstairs when I'm downstairs and there's nobody here. Um,
hmm,
and it's I mean it's loud enough at times that I'll pull the cameras up and look at the security cameras. And like, there has to be somebody's had to have broken in, because like it sounds like somebody's walking down the hallway or something and pull up stuff and nobody up there. Um, but there's been a few times that I've had like my area, like this area here, this wall back here behind me. This is the back. This is the back of the hotel.
Hmm.
And my room, like this room that I stay in here, was built onto the back of the hotel at some point. I don't know what year it was built, but it was just an addition that was built on there. But um, I've had nights I've been back here a few. It's only been a few times, but how like the big heavy trunks that like what I'm talking about, these big heavy trunks, you pop them open.
Yeah.
How like one of those would sound if you're dragging it across like a hardwood floor.
Yeah.
I've had a few times that I've heard that from back here upstairs and kind of freaks you out, and you're just like, what is that? And it's like the few times it's happened, it's been in the middle of the night, and I'll pull cameras up. I've like the first time it happened, I actually like went part of the way up the stairs trying to figure out what it was, because no idea,
Yeah.
because it's really loud. I mean, it does sound like somebody just scooting it right across the floor. Uh, it's crazy, but still have no idea what it was.
Do you still hear that though, or just once or no?
That's only been a few times.
Hmm.
I haven't heard it. Gosh, I don't know. I haven't heard it in quite a while, actually. Can't remember the last time I actually heard that, but it's loud. That's for sure.
How's it feel, man, to have the Lost Limbs Foundation and to see where it's gone? And I know it's probably met your expectations and then some, to now leading you to having this haunted location, man, for the Lost Limbs Foundation, which I think is phenomenal. So
Yeah,
that's every paranormal researcher's dream right there. So
yeah. It's. I mean, I never expected things to be where it is now. If you would have asked me when I started the charity, all these kids that we've helped, and then having this place, the charity owning this and all that, I probably would have laughed. I probably been like, yeah, right. Um, but I mean, I've been blessed with the support that the charity's gotten. I mean, luckily, because I never realized how hard it would be to put the charity together, to get it started, and having it function, and just be able to help kids and stuff. And then with the opportunity when this come up, I mean, anybody that knows the story with this place here with Rhodes Hotel, a lot of people that do know me know that I know Robin Terry and Norma very well, that owns Ashmore Estates. And we Robin, knew Gail, that well, we both knew Gail that owned Rhodes Hotel at the time. We both knew her, and I was already familiar with the place because she let me come up and do some charity events and stuff here. But Robin just gets a hold of me one day out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, what do you think about the charity owning Rhodes Hotel?" And I'm like, "That'd be kind of cool, but don't have
yeah.
the funds. Even if I had the funds, it's kids we could help. So
Hmm. Yeah.
really cool idea." I said, "But I can't do it." And then of course his response was, "That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, what do you think about the charity owning Rhodes Hotel?" And I'm like, "All right, I'm listening." And so Robin was like, "Well, what if you had someone front the money, the charity buys it, owns it, and you pay back a no interest loan, um, and then a portion would go back, to Robin, and then a portion stays with the charities. Like, you don't touch charity funds, and the charity is still bringing money in as you're paying off the hotel." So, all right, let's do it. I've been crazy not to, because there was no money fronted out for anything on it. It's just a matter of paying the loan back, and it was no interest. I'd been
Hmm.
nuts to say, I'm good. Um,
Yeah. Well, we'll do it later. Yeah.
yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I'm good. But I mean, um, it's one of those things that it's going to constantly be helping the charity. I mean, as long as people keep looking the place to investigate, it's going to help the charity out. So as long as that keeps happening, it's going to stay in existence. I mean, it's yeah, I couldn't imagine how things have went with all this stuff. But I mean, we're almost 5 years in having this place. It's unreal. Like it doesn't feel like it. It feels like I've had it for like a month.
Jeez.
Um,
I didn't
but
even realize it's been 5 years, man.
yeah, yeah, we took over and like I think it was about July or August. We quietly took over in about July or August, I think, of 2017, because the paperwork. I mean, like the deal hadn't actually been done. It hadn't been finalized, but we kind of took over and kind of switched possession of it because we knew it was going to be a done deal, and then it ended up being official like about September or October or so that of 17. So yeah, we're pushing 5 years now with this place.
Good Lord. How long have I known you? How long have we known each other? What, 15 years?
God, yeah, probably every bit of it.
Good Lord, man. And on in all honesty, folks, I don't it just seems like it was like you said, it doesn't seem like it's been 5 years that you've had the
Yeah,
road something. Does not seem that long. To me, it seems like 3 years at the most.
yeah, it's
That's
flying by
awesome.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah, but you know what, man? The cool part is like you said, you got people booking investigations. That goes to the charity, and I hope people
Yeah,
understand that this is a charity funded organization, foundation. It's not Mike raking in. It's nothing like that. It's to the
yeah,
foundation for what he's doing to help
yep,
these folks.
yep.
Um, Speaking of that, though, have you met people through that you've helped with prosthetics and everything who like paranormal stuff? Have you met anybody who dig what you're doing with the paranormal thing with this?
Yeah, yeah. We've had a few kids. I remember one of the times we had one of the kids that we were going to help because he was wanting to be able to do sports and stuff. So he needed, like you see how like they have like the little blade prosthetic, when
Yeah,
they do the running and stuff that you see.
yeah,
He needed one of those, so we helped out with that. And he came. He was here one day, and like, I knew that they were fans of paranormal shows and stuff, and I found out that they like Nick. So like it's like, oh wait, it's like send a text message to Nick, and I'm just like, hey man, think you could FaceTime for a few minutes? Got a little fan here and stuff, and it's like, yeah, no problem. So it was kind of cool. Like they liked that. Got Nick on, and they got to talk to him for a few minutes. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
that is awesome. And speaking of that, Nick's on your podcast this evening at 9 o'clock on LLF Radio. Is that correct? Or podcast?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Nick will be talking to Robin and I tonight. Yeah. So yeah, fun
My
times with
goodness.
Nick. You never know. You never know what we're going to talk about, what's going to happen. Craziness, as you've noticed with Nick, especially with the
Oh yeah.
unlimited journey stuff.
Oh yeah. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit, folks, because here Mike had this big idea, like I'm gonna do this big hike. And I was like, all right, that's awesome, bro. And you got like so far up, and Nick's with him. Nick Groff is with him, and here comes
Yeah.
Mike and Nick, and Nick is packing Mike out. And when Mike told me, I was like, "What?" But there's a reason why, because Mike just could not go any further, and I understand it. That hiking where he was hiking at, I would have tapped out easily. How far
It
did you guys go?
it was nuts. Like when Nick went to the top and then came back down to where I was at, I almost made it to the top. But it's crazy. Like when you talk about the carrying me thing, that wasn't just at the top. I mean, like when to go back and kind of like tell the full thing of what happened. I was supposed to use the prosthetic leg, and the night before, when we went to Mount Washington Omni Hotel, because we were going
Mm.
to go have dinner there. We go, as I'm walking in the prosthetic, I keep hearing like a tss, tss, as I'm walking, and I'm like, what is it? And then finally it registers like it's leaking air. So it's not
Oh,
holding the suction on the leg right.
yeah.
Um, so I'm like, well, that's not good. So I'm trying to figure out how or if it could be fixed, and nothing. So, we get up the next morning, and I told Nick, I was just like, I'm going to do it on the crutches. Because, I mean, when I was training, I was doing trails with and without the leg, because I was worried. I was like, what if something does happen with the leg when I plan on doing it? So, yeah, so I was just like, I'm going to do it on crutches. So when we get there, there's areas it's just impossible to get through some of these areas on crutches.
I would say,
So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, so it was nothing to get in the area. Nick was just like, I'm gonna have to carry you a couple 100 feet, jump on my back, and I'm like, seriously, dude? It's like, are you nuts? But that's how we did it. I mean, I would like, I'd get on his back, and he would have to carry me a few 100 feet, set me down. We keep going, but I mean, this happened off and on frequently, because I mean, because of these areas that were just so hard to get through. But yeah, I mean, I almost got to the top, and it just an accident, and then I, messed my back up, and that was the whole thing. I was just like, dude, I'm not gonna get off this mountain. I'm gonna like, people are gonna come up here a month from now and have like this big beard because I'm like living up on the mountain or something now because I can't get down off it. But no, I mean, when we got up there after I got hurt, Nick literally ran to the summit, and he got up the mountain, was asking them about how to get help and stuff, and they ended up telling Nick to call us and say, call 911, and then we'll pinpoint where they're at, and then we'll see what we're going to do to come get you. So we're like, all right. So then we call 911. They pinpoint where we're at. First thing that comes up, and they're like, well, we can't bring a helicopter in to get me off the mountain because the wind gust up the top was like 70 miles an hour.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's crazy. So bringing a helicopter wasn't an option. And then they ended up, they came to the conclusion of, they had like anybody that's been to Mount Washington, on one side of the mountain, they have the cog railway. So the train will go slowly up the one side up to the summit and then come back down. Sorry.
Okay.
But so it goes up. So then they're just like, okay, well, we can get you down that way, but you got to go another. I can't remember if it was like another half a mile or something like that. That I had to actually go to get to a point to where they could get to me, and I'm like, my back's hurting. I'm hurt. I mean, because I was already in bad shape because my body was just giving out. I was just exhausted. I was mentally and physically breaking down because it took a toll on me. Imagine trying to climb a mountain on crutches. Um, but I mean, it was insane. But then I finally get over to this point where they get me out of there, and like this is one point on that. This one thing I'll never forget. The rescue team gets to me, put me on the stretcher. They strap me to the stretcher on the side of a mountain, right?
Oh God.
My first thing is, don't drop me, guys, because if you drop me, I'm
I'm going.
done, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'm done. I'm going sledding down the side of a mountain, and you probably never see me again, alive anyway. And of course, there's the one guy that's in the rescue team that's the funny guy. So yeah, I'll never forget this. But I said, guys, don't drop me, and the guy's just like, we haven't dropped anybody in a little while, and I'm like, dude, I know you're
That's not
joking,
safe.
but it's not funny right now. It's like, you
Oh
tell me
God.
that when we get off the mountain,
It's not reassuring what you're going to do to me. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
yeah. Wow, it was nuts. But I was like, I know you're kidding, but it's not funny right now. But yeah,
Uh,
I mean, we finally. It
you
was
used to tell
just,
me about all this when it happened, when it first happened. I was like, well, what? It's like, really?
yeah, it
Jeez.
was nuts. I mean, Yeah, and then here we are later this year. We're gonna get back into
Go
filming some more
do- Oh,
episodes. So,
oh no.
and the bad thing
Uh,
is, like, I don't know exactly what we're doing. So, knowing Nick, who knows what's going to be next.
so he's not told you anything? I'd bring it up tonight and be like, "Nick, dude, are we hitting any mountains again? Because
um,
we
from my understanding, it's going to be another Spartan race. I just don't know which one. Some of those can
Jeez.
be brutal. When we did the second episode, it was the Beast, which is I wasn't able to do that when I had health issues going on. We talked about that when I had all the lung stuff going on, and I got really sick and stuff, and I couldn't do that one. And Nick was just like, if you can make it out, then you can just sit and talk about what's going on, and what they're doing with the race, and then what was going on with me health wise, and hey, I can't do the race and everything. But that have you seen any of the Spartan stuff?
No. No, because it sounds like it's absolutely insane on what they
It's
do.
brutal. It's brutal. The Beast is what they ended up doing. It was Nick and Johnny Hauser actually did it.
Oh,
And it's
how's
supposed to be,
oh, really?
yeah, and it was supposed to be me with them too. But I mean, it was like when I got there, seeing how it was pouring down rain. So there's mud all over the place. I mean, this is how bad it was. My shoe was tied on, had
Mhm.
it tied like it was tied nice and, tight. I would take steps, and man, when you step down in the mud, when you go to take the step up, it would like the mud would almost try to pull the shoe off my heel.
Oh,
Um,
God.
it was so muddy. It was pouring down rain the whole time. It was like 50 degrees, and we're like in North Carolina. And yeah, those guys did it. They did an awesome job, and Nick finished the whole race. But I mean, like, as soon as you start, there's like this big hill that you just like a steep hill you have to go down and come back up. And it's like, I don't know, it probably looks like it's like 15, 20 feet, like not straight down, but it's a pretty steep. I'm like, I probably would have been out as soon as they hit that. I mean, it
No,
was so crazy.
I would have dove and slid down and then shoot right on up, man. That's what I would have done.
Honestly, I think what would have happened that day if I hadn't been sick, the race would have started. I'd have got to that, and I'd have went, I'm
Nope.
out. Yep.
Tapping.
Yeah, I'm out. See you guys at the finish line.
Oh, man.
I'll be there to
Y
greet you.
and you add Hauser to this group, man, that just makes it even better because he's
Yeah,
Hauser's the best.
man.
He's awesome.
He did awesome. Like that was a tough course. And he didn't make it all the way through it, but he got a long way. And I mean, he was hurting, had to stop. But man, he did an awesome job. Um, it was crazy. Anybody that gets a chance to watch the episode should check it out for sure. It was wild.
I gotta know though, man, you've had a lot of people come into Rhodes Hotel and do investigations. What's some of the best stuff that they've caught so far? I mean, other than EVPs, because we know EVPs are just the trick of the trade anyway. But what's been captured that's kind of blew you away possibly, if any?
you know, One of them right off the top of my head that sticks out is I had. Um, you haven't been here, but like this door over here, like goes into the hotel, and then there's a hidden door there. It's like a hidden, like a fake fireplace that you can go through. And I go through that way usually. Like if groups rent the place out, private investigation. I'll let them do their thing, and sometimes I'll go out and just make sure, hey, you guys doing okay? Do you need anything like that? I went out there one night, had a group in, and they actually had their monitors and stuff. Like they had the DVR system and stuff. They had the TV screen and stuff there. Decent sized
Mhm.
TV screen was there. Somebody was there at base, kind of keeping an eye on the cameras and stuff. And just went in, see how it's going. We're talking and everything, and then I see just a dark shadow just walk into a room, and then they turn around and it's gone. I was like, "Oh, you got somebody in the other room?" And they're like, "No, we don't." I'm like, "Yeah, you do." They're like, "What?" They're like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "I just saw somebody." So yeah, they're like, "There's nobody there." So then somebody goes over there and looks. There's nobody in there. I wish we had the footage. Like I've got the footage that they sent me from. You can see the shadow because it walks into a doorway, and it almost like it does a 180. It just kind of circles around, and then almost like it went back over toward the wall, and then you don't see anything else. What we did is like I'm one of those. It's like I got to recreate this
Yeah.
because they had a camera that's in the kitchen that goes through two of the parlor rooms, and it was the second parlor room where they caught it. So this camera is just going all the way through, like from the back of the building to the front, just straight out. So I'm like, all right, we got to, this is bugging me. We got to see if we can debunk this. I go out and like I walk into the doorway the same way, and of course it's going to be different because I'm on crutches. But the thing about it is like all you could see is just like a dark shadow figure walk in and come around. When I walked in, you could see it was me. And on top of that, when I started to turn, you're facing the IR camera. The glowing from your eyes like hits it right off the bat. So I mean, you could see my face, you could see my eyes and everything. So I was like, it doesn't match up. So that was crazy.
That's some good evidence right there. We got RhiAnna finally. RhiAnna's with us.
Hello.
Hello.
So that would bug me though to catch something like that. Well, no, it wouldn't bug me. It'd be
Yeah.
awesome because I mean you've got another group. You got a group that's there, but you know that's cool that you got that for sure. And it would have been even cooler if it was like in period clothing if you had something like that. Because I
Yeah.
haven't been there yet, but trust me, it's on my list to come up there, and I don't want to know. I'm the weird one out of this group, out of RhiAnna, me, and Critina, and Robert. I don't want to know about anything about these places, but Robert fills me in sometimes on some of this stuff, but that's cool. But most of the time, I don't want to know because I psych my own self out, and I'm the world's worst for that stuff. Because when I know stuff about a place, I'm like, "Ooh, something's over here." Like I'm like it's like ADHD. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm all over the place. So I don't know. I cannot. Sometimes with these places, I cannot just calm down. You know what I'm saying? I just
Yeah.
cannot focus.
Sometimes it's good to know though, because if it's like a recurring sighting or a recurring audio, it gives you something to identify them with. So it gives you a way to kind of start communication. Like if you
Yeah.
know a that they will respond to or an object that they will respond to. Sometimes it is good to know ahead of time just so you can initiate that
Well,
communication.
Yeah.
just tell me one thing. That's all.
But
But the cool thing.
we
Go
had
ahead.
uh, one of the things like where you talk about that. One of the things that I've started putting in there is like we were getting all kinds of people coming in and saying that they're getting a little girl and they've gotten EVPs of this little girl that we have no idea who she was. The Booth brothers came in and they were filming, and it was just a few of us that was actually here. And anybody that's seen The Attached, that documentary that the Booth brothers put out a little while back, it's on
Mm-hmm.
that. But when they were here, they left one of the cameras rolling, and when they got home, they go over the footage and Class A EVP, you can hear a little girl say "Goody." So and it's not something like I'm like, who is this little girl? Because I don't know who she is. But then someone pointed out to the booth that one of the pictures in one of the parlor rooms, we had these really big pictures. One of the building, and you could see the family like sitting on the porch, and then there's another one. It has like a close up of the family sitting on the porch, and there's names listed under it. Well, one of the people, asked the Booth brothers. They were just like, "Hey, did you look at the picture downstairs?" And like, "No." So they go down to look at it, and one of the ladies, her last name is Goody Coons.
Oh
Whether the
wow.
girl was just Yeah, whether the
Oh,
little girl
that's
was just saying
cool.
goody. Yeah, I mean, it could be a coincidence of, just the girl just like goody for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of interesting the fact that it also matches up with with that last name. So maybe it's a family member or something. So I'll make it a point when people come in to tell them about this little girl and that story that I just told you. That way, then maybe that's something they can build off of over the night, throughout the night.
Yeah, I'll remember that for when we come up there. I'll definitely remember that. Because when we come up,
I'll remind you.
I definitely want to come up there next year. Financially, man, it's just hard right now for everybody, the way everything is.
Yeah.
And I hope
Yeah.
to do a little bit more next year with Beyond the Paranormal podcast and getting out and doing some more stuff. But Rhodes Hotel is definitely on my list to come up to do and do a podcast from there too. So
Yeah.
that's definitely on the list. And we can stay there too, folks. It's a hotel. It's a win-win situation. You don't have to go 2 miles down the road to stay. You got beds right there. I mean, I'd stay in a haunted hotel.
Yep.
I mean,
Hey, I stay here all the time.
technically, you
still-
stay in the one room. You don't stay in the actual place. Well, yeah. Never mind. Never mind.
I haven't stayed in any of the rooms upstairs for quite a while, but when
Oh.
we were coming up and doing things before I came up and just moved in, I'd stay in just different rooms upstairs. Yeah.
So I want to know this,
I'd
man,
go
and I know I'm so sorry, man. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'd just say I'd go up there and stay in any of the rooms.
I want to know this because I don't think I've ever asked you this, and I'll let RhiAnna hop in here too. But what got you into paranormal? I don't think I've ever asked you that before. Out of 14, 15 years of knowing you, I don't think I've ever asked you that.
Yeah. It was back then. I was one of those. You show me something, then I'll believe it. Otherwise, I'm like, So I didn't really believe so much into things. And I had a friend that didn't live too far away. They were only like 20, 30 minutes or so away from where I was living. And they were like, hey, come over, we'll watch movies, hang out and stuff. And I'm like, all right. So I go, it's like 2:00 or so in the morning. And they were just like, hey, I've got an extra bed upstairs, got a whole room to yourself. You got a bed, you can just crash out there, go home the next day, no big deal. And I'm just like, all right. And you know how sometimes you wake up, sometimes you're kind of like, trying to wake up for 15, 20 minutes. And then there's just times you just open your eyes and you're alert, like right away.
No, not really.
Um,
God.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But yeah, I was asleep, and then for whatever reason, I woke, I kind of rolled over, woke up, and just opened my eyes up, alert. I see a little girl staying beside the bed. And it was kind of one of those things. I'm just like, you turn your head and you kind of look back, and then she was gone, and it freaked me out. So, I get up the next morning, and I'm just kind of. They obviously thought he's acting weird because I just didn't have a whole lot to say because I was still kind of processing what was going on from in the middle of the night and everything. But yeah, it was kind of weird, and I guess I was acting odd. And they're like, "Did you see the little girl?" And I'm like, "Now you tell me about this. Why didn't you tell me this before?" I said, "Yeah, I'll sleep in this spare bedroom you have."
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of what started it. That happened, and then the interest. I'm just like, what happened, and what happens to us when we're gone. So,
I'm going to come back and haunt everybody that I know. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've left instructions like I'm not to be cremated. No, because that, they say that kind of diminishes your connection to the living world or whatever. I'm like, do not. No, because I want to always be coming around and messing with people.
I tell people huh?
No, go ahead.
What's that? Oh, go ahead.
No,
what were you saying?
You go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm like, I would be the one that I'd be telling people that when I'm gone, they're gonna put their keys in like the kitchen in here or something, and then they're gonna find them in the attic. Yeah. They're like, what? Oh yeah, you need this? I'm gonna go put it like in 3 floors.
I'd mess with them while they were asleep. I'd like mess with their nose, and
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I
that
swear to God, I
tickle
would.
nose. Yeah,
I would
that
slam
would be fun.
doors,
Yeah,
fart off.
yeah, yeah.
What was that one thing they had, like ghost poo or something like that? They were a long time ago. He was talking about. I was like, that's so stupid.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
what do you have coming down the pipe so far, man? That's coming up for Lost Limbs and for you yourself. I know you said you're going to be doing some more video stuff. What's going on?
Yeah, there's a few things like we'll be set up at Michigan Paracon in August to promote the charity and this place and raise money for the charity. Let's see what else we got. I know in November, Robin usually brings the Mystery Machine out to Grand Rapids Comic Con in November, and we'll do that again. I think he said we're scheduled for that this year again, so we'll raise money there. And then of course, filming Unlimited Journey with Nick Groff and doing these crazy challenges later this year. The
Oh no,
craziness will start.
you mentioned Nick Groff. Oh Lord, there's RhiAnna's favorite paranormal person, and
Oh yeah,
Mike's getting him on his show tonight. So Nick will be on Mike's and Robin's paranormal show tonight. So there you
Oh,
go.
cool. I've
in
just met
about
him like 3 or
hours.
4 times, and we were at Waverly when he with Katrina was doing they were recording
Lockdown.
that, yeah, for Paranormal Lockdown, and we've
That's
met him
cool.
at cons and stuff like that. So I just think he's super cool.
Yeah, he's
Just
really down to earth. He's a good guy.
mm-hmm.
I want to know though, man. Since you have the Lost Limbs Foundation, what do you hope that this charity brings to people? What do you hope that this charity fulfills for people who are struggling, who can't get help, and need to know about this charity, who can get actually help from this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, a number of things. I mean, I want the charity to be able to help whatever kid needs to help. Um, I want to be available to like the families that are unsure what's to come. Like if their kid lost something, to let them know that hey, it's not the end of things. I mean, it's what you make it. I mean, I've learned this over time. I mean, you can say, poor me, or you can do what I try to do. I mean, I try to take something bad that happened to me and turn it into something positive that can help somebody else through the. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, the whole thing is it's what you make of it. I mean, you can be down on yourself and dwell on things, or you can just say, you know what, this is how it is, and you keep moving forward and do the best that you can. But I mean, hopefully, we just keep helping kids, and hopefully that never stops and just keeps going on, and hopefully we can be available to families to let them know that things will be all right. I mean, it's just
Mm-hmm.
a tough patch that you're going through. I mean, I'm proof of that. I mean, it's still ongoing with some of the issues that I have with my leg and stuff that I still have left, and you just got to keep going.
I've donated many things to Lost Limbs to auction off. My mom's made a quilt for Lost Limbs Foundation.
Yeah,
Donated autographs. I've even took some of my personal autographs and gave to Lost Limbs, because that does not mean nothing to me when it can help a child or adult out to get what they need, specifically like prosthetics and things like that. You never know how much you need something until it's gone. It's like, when I have
yeah,
problems with my back and I can't hardly walk, you're like, your mind's telling you to walk and you can't, and you don't
yeah.
know how crucial that is, and you miss it till you don't have it. And it's like, well, I can't do this no more.
Mm-hmm.
We
So
take so
it's
much for granted.
yep,
Yeah.
that's very true.
We
Very
do.
true.
Just
So
even the
kudos to you.
simplest things.
So kudos to you still having the foundation. How long have you had Lost Limbs now, man? How long is it? I know it's more than 5 years.
Yeah, I started it. The whole idea started in 2012. think it was, is when we kind of started, and then we got the 501c3 status in 2014. So, which obviously, that gave us the green light to just start doing the events and stuff like that. But yeah, it's hard to believe. It's been crazy. I mean, all the events and stuff that we've done, all the cool people I've met over the years, and the friendships and stuff, and the kids that we've helped, and it's definitely not been easy. I mean, starting out, I mean, I remember the first kid that we went and helped. It's like, you put all this stuff together and you think, oh, this will be cool. You can help some kids and you can do this, and you don't think about that tough side of things, and got everything together. And then the first time went out to meet one of the kids, and then you hear the story of what happened to them. And I mean, he lost both of his legs from a rare meningitis. And you're looking at this little kid, and like I met with them, I had breakfast with them, and we helped them. And after talking to him and stuff, it's just like I had to go. I was actually coming back home that same day, and so afterwards I need to go back to my room and pack stuff up. And I went back to the hotel room, and I just practically about fell apart, and just like, I don't know if I can do this. I was just, that was the thoughts. It's like, I just don't know if I can do it. And you just kind of get that mindset. It's like, well, it's got to be done. Somebody needs to do it. So that's what I started.
It takes a special person, and we need more special people like you, man, to do this. So, well, I know people want to run charities and stuff, but I mean, you do it legit. So,
But and it also takes a lot of special people, like what you said. The stuff that you've done. You donate stuff, and everybody else is donating money, and they donate different things to auction off. And I mean, it takes everybody. It's a team effort from everybody to be able to do it all. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist.
We're auctioning RhiAnna and Critina off next. No, just joking. Oh man, good times. Oh man, it's good to have you on here finally. It's been like 8 years to get you on the podcast, but you was on the Mike Couch World Tour there, as I said, which that was hilarious. But no, honestly, folks, I've known Mike for years. I love Mike to death. He's like my brother. Honestly, we've connected since the first time we met, and he calls me up out of the blue. Like, I just went to Waverly, and it's been like years since I've been to Waverly. He just calls me up out of the blue, just out of nowhere, and we just start talking. It's like nothing never, he's like, tell me about his condition and stuff like that. And the first thing I told you was never give up, because that's the first thing you're done, man, is to give up. And I told you I'd kick your ass if you ever did. So
it's the easiest thing to do, but yet the worst thing to do.
Yeah.
It is. So you've got the Michigan is it Michigan Paragon you said it's coming up for you?
Yeah, in August, yeah.
So is that the only one you're hitting up so far, or are you doing anything else as far as?
Yeah, I think really.
What about Scarefest? You going to Scarefest or anything, or no?
I'm not sure. I know last year they had Robin bring the Mystery Machine out, and we were there last year for that. We had a table, but I haven't heard anything so far this year, so I'm not sure. And maybe if not, maybe I'll at least try to go down and kind of hang out and say hey to everybody and see some familiar faces and say hey.
Yeah, I'd like to do one day a Scarefest for sure, but there's so many things I want to do with this podcast, and RhiAnna and Critina with me too in this. But like I said, it's so hard. I hope things start working out here soon. Trust me, hope some things start working out. It is. It really is. But I'm not giving up on it for sure.
Good things don't come easy, for sure, man.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
So you were talking about the Unlimited Journey, and I saw that Nick posted something about it today as well. Actually, I think.
Yeah.
What do you got in store for that? What's the plan? Or do
You
you? Or
know,
can
honestly, I don't like. I was telling John like right before he came on. I don't. Nick hasn't really filled me in on exactly what we're doing for the next challenge. I mean, he said a Spartan race, but there's so many different Spartan races. I mean, it could just be like a 5K, or he might just pick one that's just knowing Nick, he's going to pick one that's kind of insane and it's going to be tough.
well, they
But
were on what are those, like those elliptical bikes, him and Tessa, in the post
yeah,
that he shared today. So he's getting ready for something.
They keep Mike in the
yeah,
dark. You just spoil it on him. He's like, oh, what?
he is with this one. I mean, he's not saying too much with this one, and he's just like later this year. So I'm just like, man, I really need to start hitting trails, lifting weights. I mean, because when we did the mountain, I mean, I had to lift weights and stuff. I mean, I had to train. I was doing these trails, and I was have to start lifting weights and everything because I needed that upper body strength for the mountain and stuff. So it's like I'm doing the same thing now. I'm doing the same thing now because I don't know really what to expect. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with that? He has some wild ideas. So
I
I
told
think
you.
sometimes he forget. Yeah, I think sometimes he forgets that I can do some crazy stuff like we did the mountain and stuff, but there's some things that I just can't do.
Trust me, you can do anything. Well, at least, half of it. Good luck you did the mountain. So, Trina Dartery says, yes, Mike is special. Keep doing what you are doing. And I second that too. So,
appreciate that.
Yeah, Nick usually keeps Mike in the dark. And then when he splurges on him, he lets me know, like, what the hell? What am I supposed to do? You're supposed to go and do it.
Him. I'm going to ask him about that on the show tonight. When we talk tonight, I'm going to ask him, be like, so what's really going down with this next episode?
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to watch it just to find out.
You need to tell us, say, look.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Look, bro, you need to tell me, what are we doing? And if he says, I can't tell you, then you just might as well just go all out, dude, and start pumping iron, saying your prayers, taking your vitamins, and praying to Hulk
say your
Hogan.
prayers, take your vitamins.
Yeah. Well, the funny, like one of the funny things is like when he posted something about this a while back, my sister commented on the post and she's like, wait, which Spartan are you doing? And he said the death race. And I was just like, I sent him a message immediately. He's like, what do you mean death race? I was like, I can't do that, But then he was just like, no, I'm just messing with your sister. So I'm like,
I don't think so.
Have you seen some of these?
No.
Have you seen some of these Spartans?
No, because that would frustrate me very much.
You should look them up. Look up like that death race or whatever it was that was. Yeah, that he mentioned. It's insane stuff.
I mean, I'll be there to root you on. I'll have like a little boombox playing Hulkamania's theme song or something like that.
There you go. Play Out of the Tiger or something, right?
No, that's overrated. That's nah. No, you gotta do Hulk Hogan, man. You got and when you finish it, you gotta rip your shirt off and all that stuff.
Yeah, dripping in sweat.
I know people's gonna look at this podcast. Go, God, they lost their damn minds. Well, we like to have fun, folks. We like to have fun. We need to take you squatching with us. Need to take you squatching with us. I've never been squatch hunting, but
I haven't either.
So we'll go. RhiAnna's being though, I think.
Oh, really?
I think so. Haven't you or no?
I'm not.
I thought you said so.
Yeah. Nothing official. Anything like that.
That would be cool. I'd like to go, but the only thing that worries me is like if I encountered one, I'd have a hard time getting away. So I'm probably just going to be like dinner.
They wouldn't. You've got the crutch, man. You need him.
Yeah. They'd probably like pick up the crutch and just be like, yeah, whatever.
I'll pack you out like Nick did. I will pack you out or drag you out. We will get off.
Throw me over the shoulder and just take off, right?
That's right. I will not let you fall, my brother. Hey, you know what, RhiAnna? We have Beyond the Paranormal Podcast will be at the Old Hospital on College Hill in Williamson, West Virginia on June 24th. That's coming up very, very soon. Like very, very soon.
Super excited. Can't wait.
I know Critina was talking about it on the interview that we did. She was kind of nervous. I could tell she's still nervous. So, you know, I told her it'll be okay. It will be fine. But she's really she's really nervous about it, and I don't blame her. It's her first time actually doing research on this stuff.
She's scared.
She is. She's a big scared. She's scared. But I'm not going to scare her. I'm not going to do anything like that. But we're going to have some fun. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to show her some things, and hopefully she'll be good. All right, folks, it's that time again. Another episode is in the books, and next Tuesday we will have a Squatch hunter. We will have Gail J. Laffoon Jr., cryptozoologist, survivalist from Southern Illinois, monster hunters. So we have another member of that squad coming on here. And then, is it next week? No, the following week, again, we'll be doing the live podcast from the old college. I just had that up here. I never can say that right.
On
the old
Hospital Hill.
Yeah, there we go. The old hospital on College Hill. Good Lord, say that 10 times. Yeah. What did you say? The old College Hill on the hospital?
I said old Hospital Hill. You said old college, and I said old Hospital Hill.
I'm going to say stay away from Copperhead Road. Lord of mercy, folks. It's been.
If we make it there, that's where we'll be.
Yeah. We'll be there. We will be there. And we'll be there from 5 o'clock till 7 in the morning, or 8 in the morning next day. So we will have a lot of stuff. And I got to find somewhere to take a nap. I got to have my nappies. So I'm going to bring Mr. Bear with me. My cuddle buddy, Mr. Bear. Anyway. Mike Couch, my brother, you always have support for me, you know that, and this podcast and anything that I do. And,
Appreciate
love
it.
you as always. And, yeah, man, we're definitely
buddy.
going to try to come up and do this podcast from there because this is on my bucket list to do. And we want to do Kentucky pretty hard. Me and Robert was talking about we want to do Kentucky pretty hard first and then make our way on up that way. So that way we can check that out. And plus, we'll have a night to stay. We'll have a place to stay that night.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, folks. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, please get out and check out the Los Alamos Foundation and Rhodes Hotel. You can find them easily by searching or Google them. I'll put stuff up as well. And get out and subscribe to Beyond the Paranormal Podcast, YouTube page, and Facebook page. It's very simple, folks. Just help us out. We help everybody else out. So return the favor if you want to. We'll see you next Tuesday, folks, at our regular time at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I don't know where Critina's at. She's out selling the creek or something. I don't know. She's doing her own thing this evening. But anyway, thanks you guys for tuning in. As always, Mike, thank you so much. RhiAnna, thank you as well.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.